Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist. I own 52 units of real estate and I help coach people to buy their first multifamily deal. So today I want to talk about rest and how I'm trying to optimize myself for resting. So I am creating this video for myself and hopefully you can learn value from this because I'm the type of person where I'm just so efficient in what I do. And I'm very just cut to the point, cut the fluff, take, radical action that's efficient. And, most people aren't wired this way, but because I'm so efficient, I feel like every single moment I need to be doing something productive. So for me, while I'm at work, I'm juggling multiple things at work, right? If I need to talk to my realtor or property manager, I'm on my break, I'm at lunch, I'll give them a call. When I'm on my commute to work, I'll give them a call. When I'm on my commute back from work, I'll give them a call. So I'm juggling multiple things, right? Taking care of a lot of errands. Christine and I have a shared to-do list on a Google Doc, and we just write things we need to do, and then we try to take care of it in a timely manner. So, for me, I've always been juggling multiple things my entire life. I worked full-time at one point, and I was going to UC Berkeley for my master's degree. And after I finished that, I became a pharmacy director while buying a bunch of real estate. And at one point, I was a pharmacy director, commuting an hour and a half each way, and I was renovating 80 units of real estate or apartment units while doing all that, and while still trying to maintain a social life, while trying to retain a relationship with my girlfriend, now wife, and still trying to maintain a living life, right? So doing all the above, working on my physical health, everything. So for me, I'm not a or person, I'm an and person, right? I want this and this. It's not health or wealth. I want health and wealth type of thing. So for better or for worse, that's the way I'm wired. So it's hard for me to sit there and relax. So I've tried to bake in little moments where I relax. So for me, it's the first thing in the morning. I try to basically do a little morning routine where I'll wake up, I don't check my phone, right? I just turn off the alarm. Phone's on do not disturb mode. And then, I'll wake up, I'll do some light stretching to loosen up your body. And then I'll brush my teeth, wash my face. I'll stretch, get ready. And then when I go downstairs for breakfast, I eat breakfast and I try to journal. I don't think too hard about it. I just do quick bullet points about what's on my mind, what I've been thinking about, what's been stressing me out, whatever comes to mind. I don't think too hard about it. I just jot that down. And then I'll basically go in my car, drive to work and listen to a podcast to learn something educational. And then, when I'm at work, what I try to do is, I have this garden next to kind of where I'm stationed, so I can go outside, get some fresh air, see some green, hear some water, kind of recharge myself, recharge my focus. And I haven't been as diligent, but try doing a double nasal inhale. So you'll breathe in with your nose fully and then do a second nasal inhale, so it'll look and then you'll breathe out with your mouth with a long exhale, which is twice as long as your inhale. And what that does is it helps relax your nervous system. So it makes you go from the sympathetic, which is the fight or flight nervous system, to the rest and digest, which is the parasympathetic nervous system. So I try to do that before I eat, right? Where I do that double nasal inhale followed by the exhale to trigger myself that I'm not in fight and flight. I want to rest and digest, right? So that you can have good digestion, and that's kind of for health. And then for me, if I start feeling groggy and tired the midday crash, I'll usually kind of go for a walk around the hospital so that I get the blood flowing and that, my brain just feels very lethargic, very sluggish. So I try to bake in moments where I'm recharging myself, and, people may see it as a waste of time, but it allows me to be more productive when I'm actually working, right? Because those people where they never take a lunch break and they're just eating in their office while they're working. You never get a moment to rest and recharge to make yourself more efficient for the rest of the day. So for me, I've always made an effort to pause, especially while eating if I can, and then just relax. And after that, I'll drive back home, prepare dinner, eat it, and then Christine and I will go for a walk around our neighborhood to digest, relax, get some exercise in there, or we'll go to the gym. And something that we're really diligent about is on the weekends, when we're off, we try to take naps. So that we recharge ourselves. I try not to overwork myself. My downside is I want every minute to be filled with something. I'm listening to always podcasts. I'm listening to a YouTube video where I'm learning something. And Christine's always why are you watching all this and listening to this? You already know everything. You're not really learning much new from it. But I always say that, I need to be reminded more so than learning. So, it's just really by focusing on rest. And then something I've been very maniacal about is like sleep. So like I've been really extreme on optimizing my sleep. So we, like where we live, it's a bunch of townhomes. So like the lights fly into the window. So even with the blinds are closed, light shoots through. But even if you put blackout curtains, light still shines through. So like we have this one window which we're buying more blackout curtains for to block, but we're wanting to block all the light because the light disturbs your sleep. So like on top of that, I usually wear like an eye mask on top of that to like completely be blocked out. But the only problem is like it kind of blocks air from your skin. So basically, I will cover that up. I'll make sure that the room is like not too hot, not too cold. I mean, not too hot mostly. And basically, I will turn on sound of rain for like white noise. To make sure that I sleep, at the right time. I make sure that I eat dinner about 3 hours before I sleep. So I average around like maybe 9:30 to 10. So I usually want dinner done by like 6:30 to 7. And then I really limit like how much fluids I drink after dinner because I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night to go pee, for example. And then for caffeine, we don't really drink much, but like if I were to drink caffeine, I want to make sure it's before like probably 10 a.m. so that I can sleep that night. So, for me, and then before I sleep, which is my downfall, is I try not to be overstimulated. Like before I sleep, for some reason, that feeling like you take a shower before you sleep and then your brain's just like running like crazy and you come up with the greatest ideas while in the shower. And then and most of my ideas are related to like building wealth, financial freedom, investing in real estate or doing some type of something like that. And then I'll talk about it. I get super excited about it. And what I haven't been as diligent with is if I get in that excited state, I'll just jot it down, just journal it. Get it out of your brain onto paper, and then you can sleep at night. And for me, I've really been trying to optimize too, or like I'm a default mouth breather, but there's been a lot of studies where if you breathe with your nose, number one, it filters the air for you. Number two, it's more pressurized so that you actually oxygenate your lungs better. I think they say it oxygenates your lungs about 10% better, and then you don't wake up with like dry mouth. But my problem is I can't control it in the middle of my sleep. My mouth's open, so like I actually been putting like mouth tape on my lips right here, just a little piece of tape to keep it closed, and I'll just breathe through my nose. For me, it was a little bit uncomfortable at first, but after a while, you just kind of get used to it, and then you just fall asleep breathing your nose. Sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night, and then my mouth's tape, and I'll just take off the mouth tape and then just sleep with my day. But the oxygen is like way better breathing through your nose versus your mouth, because the mouth breathing is more shallow. Versus the nose breathing is deeper and more pressurized and technically cleaner. So that's one thing that I've been struggling with. But I do notice that like if you wake up with brain fog and you wake up with like a tiredness, it's because your brain is like lacking oxygen because you're breathing through your mouth versus your nose. So like when I would breathe with my nose and tape my lips and breathe my nose, I noticed I had less brain fog. I noticed that I was more well rested and that I was like just sharper mentally. So like it does work, at least for me. So like give it a try for yourself. I know it's hard, especially for mouth breathers. And I try to be conscious about like breathing my nose more when I'm like, driving my car for an hour or like sitting at work. But it's hard. Like I do fall into the habit of that. So, and then also another thing I'm maniacal about is like before I sleep, I try to dim the lights. Like I have light dimmers. So I'll just dim it to the low setting or have it off. Or if you get really intense, I'm not there yet, but you can get like the blue light blockers where you wear it, and it'll just filter out all the blue light and you can only see red light. So like the best light for sleep is like red light bulbs, red LED lights. So you can install that in the bedroom for like optimal sleep. Or you just get the sunglasses. I'm not that level yet, but maybe I'm considering it now that I'm talking about it. Because like for me, like sleep is the most like restorative thing, and I want to be at my peak condition in terms of health. So that's why I'm like very, very maniacal about my sleep. And usually I'll sleep like not too much. I usually just sleep in boxers because I want my body to like, temperature regulate itself. Whether it's hot or cold. And I realized that helped me a lot too. And I try to like sleep on my back more. I used to be like a side sleeper, but like because I've been sleeping on my side, it's been like hurting. So now I try to sleep on my back. And I also like wear a mouth guard because I grind at night. And because I grind, I actually take a magnesium supplement after dinner to help me relax and then to help with the grinding. But usually if I'm stressed or overstimulated, I grind. So like for me, like I've never been this detail oriented about my sleep until like I hit my 30s, like the past 2 years, because like I just see the effects of like a good night's sleep on you, like mentally and physically. Like when I was in my 20s, I never thought about it, but like my quality of sleep was terrible. I was always like tired. But now it's just like, oh, like it's because I was breathing my mouth because I wasn't like having a consistent sleep schedule. So that's why it's really, really been key for me and like managing my sleep. And that's the biggest part of my rest. And I know I need like 8.5 hours of sleep to feel rested. Good luck once I have a kid. But that's what I've been trying to do in terms of like rest. So like overall, like, I'm all about the grind. I'm all about working hard. I'm all about being productive, but like you have to bake in times when like you're like resting. So like for me, it's always like on the weekend when I'm off one day, like yesterday, Saturday, I couldn't sleep in because I'm used to waking up at 6:30 and I'm used to like doing something immediately. So then I couldn't really sleep. And then on Sunday, like today, I was able to sleep in. I was like tired. I was exhausted, able to take a nap, and just take it easy. So like the key is like you got to find a nice rest schedule for you and then bake it in there. So anyways, hopefully you found value from this video. I know it's a little change of pace than my normal, but wanted to share what I've been thinking about. If you want one-on-one coaching, you want mentorship, you want to send me an email, click my link tree down below. Otherwise, please like, comment, subscribe. I hope to see you next one. Thank you so much.